realized we had a lot of comments.
Oh, we do. Oh,
Is
cool.
there hi.
Yeah, I was looking at the private chat. Okay.
No, I haven't. How do you bring up the live feed of comments? You just press the chat button?
It's on YouTube.
So
I
don't know how it is on the phone, but for me, I can see the comments on the right side.
Yeah, they might be a little delayed, but yeah, I see as late as 8:31. So, hello,
hi everyone.
Hello. Oh, I'm seeing them now.
Very cool. It's great to see everyone. Hi, Derek.
Hey, Derek.
Hope we're not too distracting. Hey, Neil.
Everybody's saying
Hey,
hello.
so many people.
This is so gratifying.
Oh, Lauren, thank you. It's good to see you. Hey, other Lauren. Yeah, anyone new joining us? Where are you from? How long have you been watching So Weird?
Basically 2/3 of my life.
Hi, Ash. Jimmy couldn't be here tonight. He is going through something personal, and he's talked about it on his personal Instagram account, but he is attending a trial. His father was murdered about a year ago, and he is attending the trial to possibly convict, that they're possibly going to convict the people who are charged with his father's murder. So he asked for prayers and well wishes and good vibes from everyone. So just keep him in your thoughts if you could.
Yeah, send all your positive energy Jimmy's way.
Exactly. If you follow him on social media, I'm sure he'll love like comments from you guys, especially from our little So Weird family, which means a lot to him. So
yeah,
we have time to do that for him.
Yeah, we're missing him tonight for sure. Illinois. Okay.
I have a friend up there.
North Dakota. Awesome.
Yeah, sending all the love Jimmy's way.
Yeah. So, yeah, we have a few things that we want to talk about with you guys, especially, and hear people's thoughts about future podcast ideas. So I guess we can go ahead and jump into that. Okay. So one idea that's been brought up a lot is creating episodes that reviews the Little So Weird books. So there's about 5 books that was created, and they're kind of named after episodes, but there's some changes here and there. Some people have the books, some don't. I bought them like a few years ago on eBay for a few dollars, but I think the prices have gone up lately. But yeah, what do you guys think of having an episode where we review each book?
I really like that idea. I've always been curious about the books, and I would love to have an excuse to finally sit down and read those and talk about them.
Yeah, I've already got the first book. I was just gonna buy the books as we reviewed them, so I already got the first one in line.
Okay.
Yeah, the price has definitely gone up. I've seen some that are going for like $30 on eBay. When I bought them, or actually my mom got them for me when this all started. I kind of gave a little review for each book back in the day, but I think my mom got them all for like $5 total or something. So the demand has definitely gone up.
Yeah, it's always been a goal of mine to read these books, so I'd really love to have it be part of the podcast.
Yeah, and it's something official, like it's official merchandise of the show. So I think there's definitely like we should probably tackle that. You know, we try to tackle anything that we get that's official, or like scripts, or like anything that we can get our hands on. So I think that'll be a good idea.
I mean, the books were pretty much the only merchandise that were made for the show, right?
There was a little from season 3. They had the voodoo doll. Did someone remember seeing this on the website or something? You could buy the voodoo doll, the
Right.
Ouija board.
I think that was possibly like prop giveaways.
Oh,
I think I do have the little graphic of like the Ouija board, voodoo doll, and something else, and they were like giving that away.
okay. That would make more sense.
Those would be much coveted collector's items to whoever has those.
Right. I don't know who has those. No one's
I really like I really like the idea of doing like character study episodes.
Yeah, we've also got that written down as a possibility. Definitely, I think. Yeah, you may have given us this idea before, but just so you know, we have definitely taken all of your ideas into consideration. We have a list of things. So,
Right. Someone mentioned like breaking down the character when we first saw them, and then to see if they have any like progression in character, or in season 3 if they change. Which a good example is like Clue or Molly, especially. So I think that'll be really cool to just dedicate an episode for each of the main characters.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun idea. And it gives us a lot to dissect and analyze.
Mm-hmm.
So a shout out to the Scholastics Book Fair in the comments here, which is exactly the kind of thing I remember from around that time. So
Yeah, I think it was a big thing with most TV series to get little novelizations. Like I had a ton, not just for So Weird, but Party of Five, Seventh Heaven, Charmed. If it was a popular TV show, it had books based on it.
Right. And I don't know if that happens nowadays.
Yeah, I remember Animorphs was it one. I think it was based on
Animorphs.
The book,
Yeah, Animorphs started out as books.
Yeah.
And, this makes me think of how, and I think they still publish these to these days. There's always been a long line of like Star Trek novels. I mean, there's this whole kind of second tier of canon for things like Star Wars and Star Trek and Buffy's. I know there were a lot of novelizations of that.
Yeah, I personally would love to be an author of those types of books just because it's basically paid fan fiction.
Yes,
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
And
god, Tad Raxel deep dive.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
The secret origins of Tad Raxel.
Sometimes I've been thinking about like Elon Musk and Tad Raxel and how they have connections.
Every time I see Elon Musk, I get angry. I cannot stand that man.
And some people feel that against Tad.
Ooh.
Oh, Rick and Molly.
yeah, I know. We've talked about maybe a Rick and Molly prequel and like how we all hope for something like that someday. But talking about it on a podcast episode would be fun too. Just kind of theorizing about what that was like. Also, having John Cooksey back on would be awesome. I don't know if he'd be down for it, but I feel like there's a lot of stuff that we didn't get to ask him.
Right.
We just didn't think to ask him.
Have
He
we
loves
not
the show so much. I think he'd be down for it.
have we not bothered John Cooksey enough? I mean,
No, never.
No, he followed us on Twitter.
He
Yeah,
did.
Yeah.
his
He
name just
answers
comes
my
up on literally
emails.
every single episode.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they have not released a soundtrack. That's never been a thing. There
No,
just has been leaks of
Yeah,
the studio versions of songs.
Jimmy has been spearheading an effort to try to get the music released, but as with everything, we bugged Disney for years about a DVD. We don't know if it's going to amount to everything, but we did get So Weird released eventually on Disney Plus, so you never know.
yeah, we were actually thinking about maybe getting the soundtrack on vinyl because there are companies out there that have been able to get the rights to like Hey Arnold, the music from Hey Arnold, to put out on vinyl, and also Gravity Falls. Disney gave one company the rights to put Gravity Falls music out on vinyl, but I don't know. So Weird's obviously not as mainstream as Gravity Falls, so yeah.
That would be, I don't even have a record player, and I would love to have that.
Yeah, that was me with the Hey Arnold soundtrack. I was like, I don't really have a vinyl player.
Yeah, I would buy a vinyl player for that.
Yeah.
If they were to do one of those nice pictures disc with the vinyl soundtrack, what image would you want on the because my brain immediately goes to the eyeball from Fiona's So Weird website logo. Yeah.
I was thinking Another Worlds. Do you know that album cover art with the earth?
Yeah, I love that.
Okay, yes, I do remember that.
Someone asked if we know if the So Weird songs were performed live or all lip synced, and if I remember the interview with Dino, I think he talked about that, where he said that they were just playing along, like there's the music performing, but they weren't really playing it. But he was like, we still learned the actual notes, so it would look authentic and not like we're just strumming along.
And I think he also said that they actually got yelled at once because they were actually playing it when they weren't supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, you also listened to that interview. It's great.
From my understanding, most television things like that are recorded, like pre-recorded, and then they're lip syncing.
Right. Definitely.
Oh yeah, I totally see Fee being a writer.
I would love a continuation of So Weird where Jack is the parent and he has a kid into the weird stuff. I would love that so much.
That would be interesting.
There's another question here.
Does
anybody know why Rick took the spellbook to Aunt Melinda?
I feel like John Cooksey mentioned that at some point, but I can't remember why. It was like he knew he had to go off somewhere, I guess, eventually, and he wanted the spellbook to be safe or something. I don't know.
I feel like that's one of the details where they had a vague notion of a reason why, but they never really worked out the kinks.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I saw that the Rodgers and Hammerstein Cinderella had been added to Disney Plus. That was apparently a big deal for a lot of people. I don't really remember that program very much, but I saw a lot of hype about that on the internet. So.
Yeah, I remember hearing hype when Disney Plus first came out and that movie wasn't on there, and people were like, why? Like, why aren't they putting it on there? So I think Disney Plus, or the people in charge, held back a lot of titles in order for them to like insert new things, as the months go on or year by year.
Yeah.
Which sucks for those people waiting for certain titles. I'm glad So Weird was not one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I read something earlier about them having a goal of so many titles per year or something like that.
Yeah. I think some people are frustrated, though, that they held off on releasing Cinderella and the quality isn't as good as they were hoping. Apparently, it's not as good as the DVD release that they had. So I don't know. It's like they ripped it straight from TV or something. That's what I've heard, at least. But yeah, I understand those frustrations. Luckily, So Weird looks really good.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, there's so many comments here. I'm having trouble keeping up already.
Let's see. I think people are talking about like, adaptations or if there's a reboot. Derek is saying, I think that a good adaptation would be adult Fiona, who ended up going back to the paranormal because something happened to her kid and she was forced to go back to the paranormal.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
I think for me, if they ever do anything else with So Weird, Fee has to be involved, like, pretty heavily. I mean, Fee is what made the show so great for me. When she left, it wasn't good anymore. So, That's just how I feel about that.
For me, it all comes down to the writing.
That too, but I really...
But Cara DeLizia has gone underground, so there's no way that... Unless we recast her.
Recast if you have to. I think that's totally fine.
No.
It happens.
Yeah. If they did a reboot, do you think it could be like the original, or do you think too much CGI?
Yeah.
I think CGI would definitely be in there because I feel like it was in the original, but it would be better.
Yeah, I think at this point CGI would improve the show because you remember the special effects for the dragon and Strange. Like that
oh
was
my
awful.
god. The first time I was watching that on Disney Plus, I accidentally paused right at it, and it looked like it was sneezing. It was weird.
I think most modern shows that involve fantasy in some way, like you're gonna have CGI eventually, but maybe what's a good balance of enough CGI and enough live location shots.
Yeah, and So Weird has never been a show that was super reliant on special effects, so I don't think there would be a fear of there being a distracting amount of CGI. But I think I must have mentioned it in the last live stream we did. But yeah, watching Strangeling in HD now, you can really see that puppet, and oh boy.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking.
It turns out those 360 YouTube rips of that show all the time were actually disguising the quality of the special effects sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel like Clue would know this quite. I'm not Clue.
Eric Fandom.
Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy.
Jimmy is definitely the Clue of this podcast.
No, he's not. Okay. Was this mentioned? Did Dino mention this? I can't remember. Was Eric playing music?
I don't think Dino mentioned Eric Lively.
We'll have to add it to our list of things to investigate.
Right, but it seems like he really knows what he's doing, or that's just his good acting. But I'm gonna assume he did learn it. I don't know though.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that. I mean, it's very different. But honestly, I just want the story to continue.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not too into animated stuff, to be honest with you, but I think I could really get into an animated So Weird show. But I think I've mentioned this before because we've talked about reboots and all that a lot. With an animated show, the scope can be so much broader because you don't have a budget, so that's the only thing I'd worry about with an animated show is if they took things to a much larger scale, and it Fee has to save the universe or whatever in the show, but I don't know if it's she's going to different planets or whatever, and that's not something that would happen in the show, because it just, that's the only thing that would worry me about doing an animated show is just it wouldn't feel exactly the same,
Yeah, season 3 is, I agree, the older I get, the more meh it becomes. But I just like to pretend, or I don't really pretend anything. I just treat it as its own thing and don't really think too much about it.
Right. I mean, I think every episode also we talk about season 3 and how much of a letdown it is.
I would hope anybody listening to this live stream right now is aware of how we feel about season 3.
Yeah, it gets better later on, but still kind of
The last time I rewatched it in its entirety, I kind of surprised myself by enjoying it for what it was, but you cannot compare it to the first 2 seasons. It is its own thing.
Yeah, definitely. So Abba asks, where was Rick going after so many years of studying the show? Does anyone have any ideas?
To fight evil.
Stop evil.
Yeah. I think John Cooksey even said in the FAQ or something, it was we never got that far in our plans. We know he was going somewhere. He was getting some information about the source of all evil or something like that. But we don't know exactly what he would have discovered.
Right.
Not knowing frustrates me like no other thing.
I think the lyrics of Another World has some answers in there too. there must be something more. Maybe he was looking for a better place. I don't know.
Maybe.
But I like listening to that song and like relating to what Rick's like inner monologue was going on during those last few years of his life.
Well, and every time I listen to that song, I wonder, who's the girl above the convenience store? Like, what does that mean?
Hi, John Wiseman.
I just assume that song is kind of like a parallel between him and Molly's relationship, like the earlier days.
Mm-hmm.
Yay, John Wiseman's here.
Yeah, John Wiseman is joining us in the live chat. That's amazing.
Hi, John.
Yeah, he's one of the writers for the show. Welcome. What was the last thing we just saw about? Oh yeah, Neil, you sent us the pictures of you going to Vancouver. I am so jealous of you right now because I had actually been planning on going to Vancouver on a cruise for October of last year before all this went down to see some of the So Weird locations. So when you sent those pictures, I was just like, oh man, he lived my best life.
Yeah, that's really awesome. We had mentioned how the house in the mountains is like a house in Vancouver, and they're like selling it, and there is like a real estate website that had a video tour and all that, and pictures of the inside, and it was so cool. I don't know if that video is still up on YouTube though.
I don't think so, because I think somebody bought it.
Well, someone had bought it, but then like it wasn't on the realtor's website anymore, but I did check and the video was still on YouTube.
Okay.
I haven't checked within the last few days or even the last month, but if you can, we posted it on the So Weird forum. It's really cool. It's a really cool way to see that house because, it was like, how much was it? Like 3 million Canadian dollars or something.
Like that.
Yeah. And, Neil actually went there. He went outside the house. And it's funny because I was thinking about maybe trying to do that myself, but it looked like he had to go down a kind of a private road to get there. So good for you, Neil. I don't know if I would have had the guts to do that.
And I
The
absolutely
dedication
agree with
of So Weird fans.
Right.
I will also never get over them moving out of the original house in season 3. Like, can you imagine Fee Phillips, if she does ever come back from her aunt's house, she's going to be like, you guys moved into a new house without me. I don't even have my own room anymore. Like, what is this? Because even if Annie moves out and Fee moves back in, it's always going to be Annie's room. Fee is never going to have her own room in her own house. And that angers me so much.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we're getting a lot of comments here. So should we move on to like other podcast ideas that we've thought of?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, but we are seeing everybody's comments. Neil was saying it wasn't a private road. It was a public road, but very isolated.
I did it on Google Maps, and it looks kind of private, but I believe you.
I'm glad that nobody broke any trespassing laws for their dedication to this show.
But if you did, Fiona Phillips will be proud of you.
Okay. So going back to like other podcast ideas that we've gotten from fans and we've been thinking of. So I've thought of the idea of talking about like the big themes of So Weird, but really like diving into it and maybe bringing on a guest that can talk about it more. So I've thought of like, what if we dedicate an episode towards like loss and grief and how, that's a lot in the show. And I think a lot of people that have experienced that lately or in their lifetime, they can really have a new perspective when they watch the episodes again.
Mm-hmm.
Something else we could do with that, because I love that idea. And one of the things I've noticed when we've done like the more interactive episodes where we get like people to send us their reactions is how analytical people are delving into those themes. So maybe if we could do something like where we announce the topic ahead of time and get feedback from people, I think that would be really cool. That way we can compile it all into this one big dialogue.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's been like one topic. I've also thought of maybe having an episode with Sean Abley, who was a writer for a few episodes, but he like also does a lot of horror movies, and he's very much into like the queer aspect and horror movies and like the combination of that. And I see so many comments on Twitter or YouTube about like, oh, this show like made me like girls or made me like guys, or like I see a lot of like, oh, the pride flag was in the first episode, and I see that a lot. So I think like there's some commonality there, and I think like if we ask fans like what did they get out of it, and like like Kat was saying, like a compilation of that, I think that would be really cool too.
Yeah, definitely. And we could dive into Molly and Rebecca, because that's one people really actually are into. Yeah.
I can't see it, but okay.
Well, you know, the whole age thing is kind of
it makes things awkward.
Yeah, but you know, if you want to interpret it as romance, I can see why you would do that too.
Yeah,
I think when we did our episode on that, I said something to the effect of, I doubt that was the writer's intention, but I think there's totally room for that interpretation in the episode.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, everybody shipped people in Twilight, and there were massive age differences, so fair game.
And I think like in the past, like a lot of times it's not the writer's intentions, but it's what the fans like felt a connection to, and that's what's made it like really important to them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like pretty, you know, significant too. But yeah, I think that would be a cool episode and cool topic to dive into. Found family. I know that got tossed around a lot in our previous Christmas episode. Like people brought up found family and how that's really cool. That's so weird. Like did that theme as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. What else? So we talked about the character episodes. An episode dedicated to talking about fanfics. That's like one that's been brought up a lot too.
I personally think I'd opt out of that episode just because I don't know.
Well,
I feel like if we did that one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. We're talking over each other. I was just going to say that I personally have never read any So Weird fan fiction, but if you guys, and I know you probably can point me in the direction of like some, 4-star #1 quality So Weird fan fiction, I would be happy to read that.
Yeah. So I recently was like, you know what? I've got time on my hands. I'm going to go back and read some So Weird fan fiction. And then you know what? I'm going to go to the first So Weird fanfics I can find, like the earliest dated So Weird fanfics, like when the show was still airing. I'm going to read some of those. And you know what? I wouldn't recommend it.
Because they're all scary.
I need to know what really are like some of the anyone who is really into So Weird fanfics. What are the ones they'd recommend me to read? Because
Emily, how much of it was porn? Just tell us.
No, you know what? I was curious. I was like, when did the first mature fanfic for So Weird pop up on fanfiction.net? And it was pretty early on, actually. But no, I didn't go too far with it, to be honest. What? You know what? I think it was Mary. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Of course it was.
Yeah.
The Mary shippers were the pioneers of the So Weird fandom. We owe a lot to them.
Yeah.
They really were. Like, they did so much. They had so many different websites going on. They sold their own So Weird merch. They had I Emailed John Cooksey t-shirts.
What?
I'm so mad I never ordered one.
They had t-shirts that said I emailed John Cooksey on them?
Yes.
Oh
They had this So Weird, oh my god, LOLZ website. And it was hilarious. They had compilations of like making stills of the actors' faces, and it had like the many faces of Mackenzie Phillips. It was hilarious. They had a So Weird drinking game on there. They did so much for this fandom. You guys don't even know if you weren't there.
Yeah, and you have to think like Emily. So at that time when So Weird was airing, it was like hitting a certain population, and so like maybe 13-year-olds were writing these fanfics, so it wouldn't be the best. Whereas you know, depending on the show, like you have a lot of adults watching it, so they are writing the fanfics, and they're really amazing stories. So
You know
really
what?
have to dig and find like the
Well,
gems.
I do still have some weird fanfic favorited. I think if we did do this episode, it would probably be me and editing this one because Jimmy's more into that thing too. But I do think it would be a really fun idea to also get submissions from other people with recommendations of which ones, if you have favorites, which ones would you like us to take a look at? Like, I'd definitely be down for it.
And, you know, just as a spin-off idea, since we're kind of talking about like Conrad's Hideout and the early days with Mary, I would love to do just a call out for anyone who was actually involved in Conrad's Hideout and like the early days of the fandom to have an episode together where you all talk about, it's like an oral history of the So Weird fandom's early days or whatever. That would be amazing because I don't know, it's just like, I wasn't as involved back then. I was on the Harry Potter forums. I didn't know there was so weird stuff out there online. So I just want to know what all went down.
Right.
It absolutely did. Yeah, I was just thinking about how, like, I think the kind of things Kat is talking about was actually a little bit after So Weird finished, because I remember very, very early on seeing stuff on fanfiction.net, and this was so long ago that people still used fanfiction.net. Like, this was early 2000s. I mean, this was pretty early on, and but I completely missed all this the shipper websites and all this crazy merch and stuff. I had, you know, I learned so much from you, Kat, when it comes to this era of fandom.
Yeah.
Well, it was a lot that was based on LiveJournal. And I think Dustin mentioned that earlier, that a lot of the fics that were on there got deleted because nobody uses LiveJournal anymore.
Because it's owned by the Russian government.
Right. But it's also, they also did post on fanfiction.net. A lot of those early stories are from the people from Conrad's Hideout. And you're right, it did continue on after So Weird ended because there was a lot of talk about Instant Star and Alex Johnson on that show too.
Yeah.
Just wanted to hit this question. So Neil asked if we have reached out to people like Belinda Metz or Mackenzie Phillips. Yeah, definitely. We've reached out to all the main cast the best way that we can. Belinda seemed like she was interested, but we haven't really, like, not much has come after that initial interest. Mackenzie, just have not gotten any word. I'm not even sure what's the best way to reach Mackenzie Phillips, since she has a little bit higher like stardom than the other cast.
You know, she knows we're here and she knows we're doing this, and she has to know we'd love to have her on. So at this point, you know, if she doesn't, you know, she has her reasons, and I have to respect her. So
I mean, who knows? I'm assuming she probably has a you know, an agent or a press person that those sort of appearances would have to go through.
Exactly. There's like a whole, you know, a certain way you have to go, a certain process you have to take probably to get to interview her. And we aren't sure what that is, but
right. I tried to look up like who's her manager, or Lauren has tried to help me find like a good contact to reach her. And I've definitely emailed those contacts, but yeah, I haven't gotten any replies in regards to Mackenzie. So we try, like, definitely we have reached out, but
yeah. And again, I mean, we've talked about this before, but you know, we've tried to reach out to a lot of people. There are some people that we, you know, maybe haven't tried to reach out to, and that's because they don't really have like a public social media page. They aren't really doing acting anymore. You know, like Kara, I'm speaking of Kara in particular. A lot of people would love us to interview her, but you know, she's a very private figure, and so we want to respect that, definitely.
And yeah, Mackenzie also, she's doing her own podcast now. So she just started that, I think, a month or two ago, and it's called America Recovers, I believe. So it's all about healing from addiction and trauma. So she is always so busy. She's doing things. She has her own like addiction treatment center that she runs. So,
and kudos to her, like major kudos to her for all the good work that she's doing out there.
Yeah.
I just want to say, okay, well, you go first, Kathy.
Okay. Yeah, I just saw this comment. So I know you guys are talking, and I was like, oh, I don't know what the conversation's about. But thinking about grief, maybe they were showing how Jack was leaning into anger, feeling extra on edge or annoyed by Fee, and he heals from there. Yeah, I think that's definitely it. He has grief on, like, she has her own grief by never seeing her dad. Jack knew his dad and lost him, so there's grief there that's totally different from hers.
Yeah. And actually, John Cooksey talked about this in his interview and how, the show, and maybe this was something you brought up, Kat, I can't remember, but it was how the show shows all the different ways that the characters process grief differently and, the conflicts that come from that. So, yeah, that's something we definitely bring up on that episode if we did an exploration of grief.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so I have 3 comments I want to make real fast. First off, Mischievous Monkey, I love your profile picture. I just realized now what that was, the little alien hand puppet. Secondly, AZN SETI says they worked on a So Weird supernatural crossover fic that involved mythological creatures from Philippine mythology. And I'm curious if I believe it's spelled Aswang, but it's not pronounced Aswang, but it's some sort of like vampire monster from Filipino mythology. And I'm curious if that was referenced. And wait, there was one more. Oh, and Eric Von Detten was on Cameo, and we tried to reach out to him. Was there any response or feedback from that, Kat?
Yeah, so I saw that he was on Cameo, but I didn't want to pay for a video. So I saw there's a chat option where it's like, send him a message for $2 and maybe he'll reply. Like literally, it's maybe they'll reply. Mm-hmm. So I filled up all the character space about the podcast and how we'd love to have him. And he replied saying, sure, sounds like fun. But after that, I'm like, okay, so is there a good email we can communicate? And no reply after that.
Well, didn't he also just have another baby or something?
I think so.
I'm not totally sure about that. I think you're right, though.
I think like one's on the way.
Yeah.
But anyway, see, like, I don't know. Like, we asked him, and he seemed interested. But then I think about how him and Patrick were on that. They got interviewed to talk about Brink. That was like last year. So I'm wondering, like, how did they reach those 2 people, and how did they agree? And I was like, why aren't they agreeing with us?
Mm-hmm. But like I brought up, it might be because that was involved with a charity thing, I think.
Maybe.
Okay. What were some other ideas we were talking about for the podcast?
Going on to the document.
Extended cast career breakdowns.
Okay.
I'm not sure who added that one. Maybe it was Jimmy. I know he's done a lot of research on like each of the actors and their careers, and he has trying to like archive everything that they've been in. I think
Jimmy would definitely have to be on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That would be fun, doing kind of a deep dive into everybody's career and looking into some of the other stuff, some of the other notable things. I mean, obviously Mackenzie Phillips has had a long career, and I know Kara was on, was it Boston Public? Was that the show she was on?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She was actually on Ghost Whisperer for an episode, and that's how I got into that show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's a lot of other notable, interesting credits. I mean, and we've touched on it a little bit in interviews and things like that. You know, I think I'm the one who always likes to ask about trying to find the most obscure thing on somebody's IMDb page and ask them about that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely think Mackenzie Phillips still has love for the show, and she made her post about like watching it on Disney Plus. I think she still keeps in contact with a few cast members, but she just seems really busy, and I think she chooses like wisely like what to appear on. She's really much about promoting like her current projects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, give me pizza.
Give me pizza. It's inescapable.
It's funny because if you go on the Give Me Pizza video on YouTube, or like actually no, the So Weird theme song video, there's all these comments that are like, "That's the girl from the Give Me Pizza video," or "Whipped cream pours like waterfalls," or whatever.
Why is that so popular? I don't get it.
You know, you can't
get it.
It's just one of those dumbass memes, you know, and it's never. And like so many memes, it never completely goes away. It's one of those things that just sticks in the back of people's memory. Like there are still people making Rickroll jokes here after like 15 years of that shit. You know, like these things never die.
Oh man! So Give Me Pizza was basically a meme before memes were a meme.
Yeah.
Or a thing.
I just recently saw. I was looking online and that Gimme Pizza thing popped up, and then I found like, oh, there's a podcast called Gimme Pizza, the Mary Kate and Ashley podcast. Oh my gosh. Let's see. So AZ and SETI replied to you, Zach?
Oh yes, I saw. Yeah, about I don't know how you say that word. Duendes. Mischievous goblin elves from Filipino mythology. Thank you for answering that question. I'm fascinated by that kind of stuff. Weird monsters and creatures and entities from world mythology. That stuff's really cool.
And that's the stuff that would be so interesting if they did bring So Weird back, to see how they tackle like different myths from different cultures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that would be
definitely
cool.
I know Lauren from, she's commented a lot on our YouTube videos. She has like brought up her, I think also like Philippine culture, mythological stuff. Like she has written something that's similar or inspired by So Weird and is trying to like get that out there published and all that. So I love that as well, like mixing different cultures, lore.
I do wonder though if So Weird did come out and had some episodes with like some of the lore from Supernatural, if some people would start saying, "Oh no, this show's copying off of Supernatural," and we'd have to be like, "Well, So Weird was technically first." No. But yeah, I'd love to see different takes on lore from other cultures as well.
Also,
yeah, well,
I comment about YouTube poop.
Yeah, and just
memes before memes.
Yeah, and speaking on that and fan fiction, like one day a couple of years ago, I don't know, I guess it was right around the time we started doing this podcast. I had got to write out synopses for an ideal season 3, and one of the ideas I had was involved a Nukdalivi, which is kind of an evil centaur monster from Celtic mythology. A skinless centaur monster is a real creepy creature, and I thought that would be, since there's so much stuff about Celtic and Irish and Scottish mythology floating around in So Weird already, I thought that was a logical thing to do. While we're on the topic of weird mythology monster things.
Mm-hmm.
Any other ideas we want to talk about? I know one that I'm particularly excited about, and I think a lot of people are, is doing read-throughs of the scripts that we have access to. So I'm all for that. I think that'll be a lot of fun, and actually will be a good way to hopefully make some more people aware of like the original ending to Twin. Reading that out loud on YouTube will be fun. So yeah, definitely I'm for that. And actually, you may have seen this on social media, but I did just get I won a script, or I bought a script on eBay for is that me making the scratchy noise? I don't know. For Nightmare, signed by Henry Winkler. And it's the first draft script. So what is that noise? Is that me? I don't know. But anyway, I bought it so we can read this one too. And actually, yeah, you can find the script. I posted some pictures, so if you want to check that out on the forum, it's there too. But we'll still do a read through probably.
Yeah, and I think the read through idea is a really fun new way for us to re-experience the show again. Especially with that one that you have, because that's a first draft, so it does differ from the actual episode that we see.
Yeah, it does quite a bit. It's really interesting.
There's oh, so sorry, Zach just messaged saying he has no audio, so I think he's trying to leave and reconnect.
Maybe that was
never the So Weird podcast without technical difficulties.
I know. Now it's Zach's turn. Oh, I think I see him.
Emphatic, yes.
Yeah, with the script, so we do have a few of those. We have Second Generation. That's one that I have. Fountain and Nightmare and Twin.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all the ones we have. Some of us have or we have access to.
Yeah.
Isn't there also a Medium? Or like an early version of Medium that's basically the same?
We don't have the script for that. We have like I think John Cooksey did kind of like an outline for it.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, our acting skills.
Yeah, so this is also something really like fun that we thought about was, in scripts there's like a certain number of characters that have lines, and it's definitely more than 6. So we were thinking of like even bringing in fans, like anyone that wants to join a script reading, so they can be a part of it, and we can all like have fun acting out.
Derek, I'm so jealous. Could you share that with us?
Could you like scan it or take pictures and send it our way?
Yeah.
So do you guys like that idea of like, some people joining in and being part of like the live script reading? I think that would be so fun.
I love
John Wiseman, if you could show us some of those old scripts, we would love you forever. We already love you forever, but we would love you extra much.
Please, that would be wonderful.
That would be awesome.
I know Patrick, who does the Behind the Ears or the Behind the Magic videos, he also has a script for Listen, I think, signed by all the cast. So if we could get him to give us a script too, that would be great. Or like not give it to us, but share
Send
it
pictures.
With us. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, send pictures or scans or things.
Yeah, someone actually sent me a script on the forum for Lightning Rod.
Oh,
really?
Yeah, I forgot about that until just now.
You're holding out on us, Melissa.
Huh?
When we read that script, if I'm on there, I'll just be speaking in like a really loud, angry voice through the whole thing.
It's like a copy and pasted, so not like the actual thing, but it's the full one. So yeah,
the more scripts, the merrier. Like I think that would be such a like fun thing for us to do, and like kind of keep up the momentum like we used to have when we were reviewing each episode. And it's like brings new perspective, brings more like interaction between us and other fans, which is something we've been really wanting to do more, is have more interaction and more people on our podcast to get different views than the 6 of our views.
Yeah, definitely one of my favorite things to come out of this podcast have been like the little collaborative videos. Seeing everybody's takes on the show is so much fun.
Yeah, shout out
doing
to
a script
Dustin.
read. Okay.
Yeah, Dustin, it's so fun talking to you on Twitter too.
It's so fun talking over Zach too.
Yes, it's great. It's great. No, I was just saying, like, if we're gonna do script readings, then we would have to all argue over who gets to play what character.
Honestly, I'll be the character who speaks the least because I'm so bad at reading out loud.
Yeah, we just have to like pick and choose, and I think that'll be fun though. Like, one person is Fee this episode, another person's Fee the other episode.
Yeah, Kat should be Fee. I feel like you have that vibe.
Thank you.
That'll be fun.
Oh yeah, Patrick is an actor. That'd be awesome to have Patrick on to do a read. Yeah. Definitely.
Derek says, oh, what was that?
I was just going to say, I love how excited everyone is about this idea. I think it's going to be a lot of fun too.
That's a really fun idea, Derek, to do a deep dive into Brick Crew, because there is more stuff about him we could talk about with the whole, was it like SOV thing from the website that might have been Brick Crew? Have we ever done like a full discussion of that on the podcast?
No.
I mean, obviously we talked about him in Will-o'-the-Wisp and
in the Halloween episode that we did, a lot of people were talking about Brick Crew as their favorite villain and, you know, giving info why that is. So, yeah, I think there's more to say when it comes to Brick Crew. And maybe getting, like, John Cooksey's own thoughts of, like, what he thought about creating that character.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
That's our new goal, everybody, to try to find these scripts and try to, like, send them to us, and we share them with the whole fandom, and we'll just keep doing live readings.
Yeah, I still haven't scanned in the Fountain script or posted pictures of it, but I'll do that soon. It's just my phone can't handle taking a bunch of pictures. Apparently, it just, the battery gets zapped. So, but I'll do it soon.
Yeah.
That actually gives me a really good idea, Dustin. For St. Patrick's Day is coming up. If we do something to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, we should include an invitation for people to send us their best Brick Ryu impressions.
Oh, yes.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and Betsy, she talked about on her forum, like, you know, that could be a holiday episode that we do, since So Weird has brought in a lot of, like, Irish myth, you know, lore and how all that's incorporated throughout So Weird. So that would be pretty cool, and that's, like, a good idea, Kat.
Yeah. We are, like, 8 days away from St. Patrick's Day, so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get to that.
We're in a pandemic. Time has no meaning anymore. We'll do it when we do it, and we'll call it St. Patrick's Day then.
So there is one person that talked about us talking about the Disney show Secret of Sulphur Springs.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we were planning on doing that anyway, at least talking about it a little bit tonight and maybe doing a full episode about it. So, yeah, Secrets of Sulphur Springs, if you all haven't heard of it, yeah, it's been, like, we've had our eye on it since it was announced, the series was announced a while ago. It sounded like it might be somewhat up the So Weird alley. And
it's totally up the So Weird alley.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of similarities. At first, it was kind of just like, you know, me having to, like, really look through the episode to find something that might be kind of like So Weird, like, oh yeah, totally, that's So Weird right there. But as the show goes along, there's more and more. So
yeah, it is just a big pile of So Weird similarities right there, and I'm honestly so obsessed.
It's so, I would say, guys, first off, they're doing a marathon on Disney Channel, all the season 1 episodes on Friday, because the finale of season 1 is coming out. They haven't announced season 2 yet, but I'm sure there will be a season 2.
I think I read somewhere that season 2 was going to be strictly on Disney Plus, which I approve of that. So
yeah, I'm not totally sure about that, but yeah, and they have, like, the first 6 episodes up on Disney Plus now, and they're going to be releasing another episode every week. But if you want to catch up, like, and see all the episodes, there's a marathon on Friday, and it's also on the Disney Now app too, I think.
Yeah, the first 3 episodes are for free to watch on Disney Now. I've actually stolen my dad's Sling account and have been watching via that. It's like live TV. It's basically a cheap version of cable.
Yeah,
we were thinking of you know, once season 1 finishes, then, you know, whoever from the podcast crew, like, wants to watch it all, and we can just do a whole episode about similarities that we saw to So Weird and just our own thoughts on the show. I haven't seen any episodes yet, but I do want to do that and see like how much similarities there are, and how it is nowadays, because I don't watch Disney Channel anymore. So is it actually like a good quality show?
Yeah,
really good quality.
So what I will say is that even if you're a So Weird fan, you're not guaranteed to like Secrets of Sulphur Springs. There are certain aspects of the show that are are nothing like So Weird. Like the drama that goes on between the adults doesn't jive with So Weird at all. I feel like, there's some of that in the show So Weird, but it's like every episode, in Secrets of Sulphur Springs, because it's created by people who write soap operas. So, and then also like the younger kids on the show, they're kind of, like Maggie and Miranda vibes from Strangeling, a little irritating. But I will say that if you want to see So Weird gain more fans, if you want to see So Weird, something else come from So Weird, you definitely want Secrets of Sulphur Springs to do well, because it is so similar in a lot of ways to So Weird. And if it doesn't, we're probably not going to get anything from So Weird anyway, but I'm just saying. So you're not guaranteed to like Secrets of Sulphur Springs as a So Weird fan, but you will definitely see the similarities if you watch it.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned how, I wonder how it would compare to Goosebumps or Are You Afraid of the Dark, because neither of those were anything like So Weird.
Well, I'm also watching Are You Afraid of the Dark right now, the miniseries. Excellent. I totally love it. I think the quality, the production value, I don't know what their budget is, but whatever it is, they're doing an amazing job. The casting, like the actors, they're all great. So, but doesn't really compare to Are You Afraid of the Dark or Goosebumps. Now, it's not like an anthology. So Secrets of Sulphur Springs is a serialized television show. And it's, apparently one of the first ones for Disney Channel. And it's like heavily serialized. Like the next episode happens directly after the episode in front of it, like maybe minutes after. So it's one continuous mystery. So it's really not like those other two shows.
And just while we're on the topic of new shows that are out there, and since we mentioned Are You Afraid of the Dark, I also want to put it out there that I think this is the first time I've seen a reboot that I enjoy better than the original. The new Are You Afraid of the Dark is really well done, and it's scarier, like not scary, but scarier compared to the old campy one that we grew up with. I think definitely by drawing out the story to a full season instead of just one episode has really amped up the quality, and it kind of reminds me more of So Weird than the original Are You Afraid of the Dark did.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Hi, John.
Thanks for coming,
Hi,
John.
John.
It's nice to have
Thanks
you.
for dropping in.
I definitely am really enjoying Are You Afraid of the Dark. It's not really like the old version, just because it is a mini series and the older version was an anthology, so the episodes aren't really structured the same way. But I've just been really impressed. The miniseries, the first miniseries that came out, what was it, 2 years ago? That one was really good. I think this one's even better. I don't know what their ratings have been like, but I'm curious because it is scarier. They actually put a warning before the episode, and like before the episode comes back from some of the commercial breaks, because like it is scary, probably too scary for little kids.
Yeah, but so was the original. And looking back on it now, that's just laughable.
No.
And I just want to say a third username. I too remember Ghost Rider. That was a PBS show.
Yeah, I remember that too. And don't they have a reboot out now of Ghost Rider? I think it's on Apple Plus.
I don't know.
I only watched it in the mornings, and honestly, I didn't like the original all that much. Maybe because I did watch it in the mornings, and I was like, it's time for school. So,
well, though that was an edutainment show, right?
Yeah.
it was about history and reading and language and stuff. I seem to recall. That's going way back in the archives. I don't remember it well, but I do have vague memories of that show. Yes.
What do you think, Emily, of talking about the Are You Afraid of the Dark miniseries as part of an episode, or maybe even combined with the Secret of Sulphur Springs episode?
I think that'll be fine. Yeah, I think we'll have a lot to say about Secrets of Sulphur Springs. I don't know if we're going to do... So the only thing is, if we get into like spoilers on Secrets of Sulphur Springs, then we could go on for a while, I guess. And I think we'll probably want to, in order to talk about the similarities.
True.
But,
Kyle XY. I was obsessed with that show when it was airing.
I loved that show, and then my mom caught me watching it in a scene where he was shirtless, and I wasn't allowed to watch it anymore.
I have memories of the name, but I don't think it ever like intrigued me.
yeah, it wasn't. I didn't get into it. I remember seeing the commercials, and didn't he have like an unusual belly button?
Yeah.
He had no belly button.
Okay, no belly button. I was like, huh?
Yeah. I think my memories of Kyle XY are limited to seeing advertisements for it while watching The Middleman, which was a show that was airing on ABC Family at the same time. And also I remember people getting upset because apparently, now I never saw Kyle XY, but apparently there was a masturbation sequence in one episode, and people were upset that this filth was airing on a channel with family in the title. But that's a whole other
Maybe
discussion.
that's why I wasn't allowed to watch it. Because I thought my mom was overreacting. Because I was 12 when it was on. But okay, that makes more sense. I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still kind of pissed by how it ended. I think it was ended prematurely. So, the last episode ended with a massive cliffhanger, and then it got canceled. And then I'm still not over it.
So I think that was all we had planned to talk about. So I mean, we're definitely down to maybe answer any questions anybody has, or if you guys want to talk about more podcast ideas, then go ahead and write it out so we can get that, talk about it.
What in the world?
Okay. All right. Huh. What do you know?
You learn something new every day.
Interesting.
I love the path this live stream has taken. It really is.
I'm also obsessed with Riverdale, and I don't know why the writing is horrible, but it's my drug.
Yeah, my girlfriend watches Riverdale, and every time she describes it to me, I think it just sounds like the stupidest thing in the world.
It really is.
And because apparently now Archie is fighting a satanic cult or something. I have no idea what the hell is going on that show. I have not met a single person who watches Riverdale because they unironically enjoy it. I think everybody is hate watching that show.
Yeah, I watch it still because I'm a completionist when it comes to TV shows, and I have to watch it till the very end.
I kind of understand that. Yeah.
Well, and it's so bizarre because, being an old comic book nerd, I associate Archie with wholesome, teenage romantic antics. I mean, Archie was so wholesome that at one point in time they actually did explicitly Christian themed Archie comics. And now we have, sexy Archie who is in teenage fight clubs and love triangles and sleeping with his math teacher. I have no idea what that show is about, but yeah.
I watched the first episode of the Nancy Drew show, which is by the same writers of Riverdale or creators. And as a fan of the Nancy Drew PC games, I was not feeling that show at all. man, there was so much drama in one episode. It was just not in line with Nancy Drew. So I just couldn't get into it.
A call-in episode.
Like having people actually chat with us live on the air, like via audio? How would that work?
I don't know.
I like, we've been getting comments here and there where, oh, I'm watching it right now on Disney Plus for the first time, and now I'm listening to your podcast. I don't think that's like too many people though.
A couple of years ago, there was somebody on the forum who was young and they were watching the show for the first time. And it was really cool to see their perspective on it.
Yeah. I'm hopeful we'll get some more people watching So Weird. Well, obviously now that it's on Disney Plus, but if you watch Secrets of Sulphur Springs on Disney Plus, So Weird is in the suggested section if you pull up Secrets of Sulphur Springs. And once you finish Secrets of Sulphur Springs, it's in the Because You Watch Secrets of Sulphur Springs section. So hopefully some more people will watch. I don't know. I have high hopes for this show, and my hopes are going to be crushed. But,
what is Secrets of Sulphur Springs about? Is it like Twin Peaks for kids or something?
Well, yeah, kind of. Not really. I mean, there is a girl that's missing. So, okay, so it was first billed. This kind of ticked me off. In like an Entertainment Tonight article or something, it was referred to as the first, what was it, like paranormal mystery series for Disney Channel. And I was like, no. I really haven't seen that since. Now they're calling it the first time travel mystery series for Disney Channel.
What an extremely specific
but isn't that also
description.
A lie? Didn't they also have like a time travel series like Best Friends Whenever?
But it's a mystery. I don't know. I never watched Best Friends Whenever, so I don't know what that was.
But I saw the commercial break, String Girl Meets World.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's not. I don't know. I think that it's calling it a time travel mystery series is actually a pretty good description, but there are paranormal elements to it. So,
yeah.
So Rafi was saying, he was answering. He said like the Halloween Christmas episode. So I guess where fans send in like videos.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be cool. And I don't know, Rafi, if you were here when we started the live chat, but we talked about having like certain episodes where we talk about big themes and So Weird. So for example, grief, or like the queerness that people get from So Weird, or found family. And like, if a lot of fans really resonated with those themes, like sending in videos about like what they got from that, or how they felt about like the grief part or whatever. So yeah, I think like having more episodes where people send in videos and talking about their thoughts is something we want to move forward and do more often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really want more fan involvement. I think, I don't know how many people, back to the whole first time So Weird fan people, I don't know how many people listen who are first timers or happen to find us. One thing I've mentioned on the Discord is that, I do have some frustrations with the fact that we have all this behind the scenes information about the show. And we've been talking about the show for 5 years now coming up. This is our 5-year anniversary year.
Wow.
And, we're still kind of invisible in some ways for people who just are searching for So Weird on the internet. I see a lot of people, talking about So Weird on Twitter, and they just don't seem to be aware that we're here. So if anyone has any ideas for how to make us more visible in like search terms or something, some way so that first time viewers of the show can find us a little easier, like, I'm all ears. I'd love to hear what you all think. I know some people mentioned maybe getting on a wiki somehow and putting some information in there. Don't know how to do that. I have
We were talking about that in our little chat, how how Google search is nowadays, where the official websites is what shows up first. So like
Mm-hmm.
Disney Plus will show up first, probably when you search So Weird, and then like the Disney Wiki, and then any like official blog website that has talked about So Weird. Like I know Lauren posted something on her news blog website, and that like is on the first page. And we're just like a fan created little podcast forum, which is not official, so it's nowhere near like the first results. And so that's why we're thinking like we have to somehow insert information onto these official sites, so when people do their initial like So Weird Disney Channel search, it pops up. Because I think a lot of people, they won't immediately deep dive in Google and see all what's out there. They'll just like see what's on the first page or click the first website, and that's all what they got from it.
Mm-hmm.
We might have to make our own little fandom wiki for So Weird.
There
Like
is
a lot of TV shows have those.
Yeah, I think there is a So Weird wiki, isn't there?
There is, yeah.
Is it any good though? Because there's still so much So Weird misinformation out there.
Yeah.
There's just not a lot on there from what I can tell. I don't know if it's inaccurate, but it's not. There's not a lot on the So Weird wiki. Again, I have no experience with wiki and the code and all that. So HTML.
I mean,
I actually thought of you when I was thinking about this, and like even having like a fan that has done a lot of like research where they have a lot to say about a theme or it really resonated with them, even like having those people come on the episode and talk about it with like that really different perspective than us six. I had you in mind.
An academic article about So Weird?
You definitely have to share that with us when you're done.
Wow.
Yes, please do. That would be so cool. Awesome.
Someone asked us, are you guys in your late 20s, almost 30?
Unfortunately.
31 or 32.
You never
31.
ask a lady their age. Come on. That's just rude.
Yeah, I actually tweeted last night that I never thought of 30s as old until I reached my 30s.
Yeah.
And now
it's amazing.
everything hurts.
Yeah, listen. I noticed I have some gray hair on my temple here. Yeah, I'm in my 30s. Yes, I turned 31 not too long ago. So yeah, I'm old.
Yeah, I'm in the late 20s. I'm 27.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I turned 30 during the pandemic. So my first year in my 30s has been fabulous.
Yeah,
Just as planned.
I think Jimmy's like 30 as well, right?
And
Yeah.
I'm late 20s too. I'm 20.
Yeah, so basically, if you were old enough to enjoy So Weird in its original run and really like latch onto it the way we have, you're old. You're in your late 20s or early 30s. Yeah.
Yep. That is true, Jenna.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, if I could go back in time, I would change the name of So Weird because it is kind of like a generic name. As much as I like it, I mean, it's hard for people to remember that name too. Like if they're trying to remember the name of the show, they just can't because it's just too.
It's not as iconic as like That's So Raven or Lizzie McGuire, like her name. Like
what would you change the name to, Emily?
I don't know. Fee's Paranormal Adventures, something.
I know what? It's so lame though. And can you imagine if they named it after Fiona and then you try to look up the show and all you found was Shrek images?
Oh my god.
Actually, Another World or In the Darkness, like those song titles.
Actually, if you look at the names of the name of the show in other countries, it tends to translate into something other than So Weird if you translate it back into English. And dang it, I forget what some of them were, but I think I posted something about it on the forum.
Yeah, one of them is Sinostro, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What language is that?
Sinistro?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Spanish?
Spanish probably.
Portuguese.
Oh, and then There was actually a review I found on YouTube of someone French reviewing So Weird. Why didn't I save that? Oh my gosh. I don't think I ever posted on the forum, but it was
Yeah, I think Betsy like has it on our little Tumblr
okay.
somewhere.
There's another one that's Kioraro.
Okay, I actually just looked it up on the forum. The French, if you translate it back into English, it translates to at the borders of the strange. In Italian, it translates back to incredible stories. I actually like the Spanish one. It translates back to strange phenomena. Polish translates back to it's amazing. And German, it translates back to Fiona's website.
So Fiona's Paranormal Adventures doesn't sound too bad, right?
Yeah.
I like that Spanish one, at the borders of the strange. Like, wow. That's very evocative.
Like that one too.
Derek, I also think like we definitely have to have you on one of the book review episodes. That would be pretty awesome.
And I saw your comment, Dustin, about not being able to shut up about the show if you got on here on an episode, because I understand what you mean. And you said you have maybe 2 people I can talk to about it. That's part of the reason why I wanted to be on the podcast in the first place, because there was no one to talk to. No one at all.
Same.
Knew what I was talking about. So,
like, I have 2 friends who are into the show, and it's both of them. I actually got them into it like when I was first getting back into it in 2012, and now my little cousins are into it.
yeah.
And so it's fun talking to them about it, but other than that,
Was okay, third username. Are you referring to the pilot script that says too weird? And by the way, Derek, is that the pilot script you have? The one that says too weird or so weird? I'm curious. Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't read the too weird pilot script in a while because I'm not sure how valid it is. Like, how did we get that?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it probably is. I don't know if the So Weird fan would make that up, but
what vegetable would you like to be turned into? That's an important question.
A potato. Wait.
I
don't think potatoes are considered a vegetable, but I consider them a vegetable.
A potato is a vegetable. Why wouldn't a potato be a vegetable?
What is the
I mean, if you're going to argue that it's a fruit, I'm going to smack you.
It's a starch.
I just want to be turned into the least appetizing vegetable so no one would eat me. What would that be? That's what I would be.
I really
Astrid would find a way, Emily.
I really like avocados. I feel like I would make a great avocado.
Is corn a vegetable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be that.
I don't know. I don't eat vegetables very much.
Honestly, neither do I. Potatoes are the only ones I like.
I try to.
I'm a fruit person.
Guys. You got to have your fresh greens, your leafy greens. They keep you good and healthy.
Putting some spinach in my smoothies. I hear like you can't really notice spinach in like a lot of food. So
I got one. Red cabbage. I like red cabbage.
I love onions. I really do. They're my favorite.
But then you'll be an ogre.
They have layer.
I know. I don't think I'd want to be an onion. They're smelly, but I do love onions.
You'd be making everybody cry.
That's true. I could get my revenge on Astrid by making her cry. Yes.
The Irish grandpa? Oh, the grandpa Irish. My brain switched that, and I thought the person referred to them as just the Irish grandpa.
Oh, that's really cool. So it's the real deal. Awesome. Yeah, please share. Projects?
Oh, that's so cool, Rafi.
Academic projects? Wow. That is awesome.
Rafi, are you going into like a specific like theme about So Weird or more something in general?
Yeah.
I like cucumbers in my salads.
Cucumbers are great. They're very healthy for you. They have like 10 calories in a whole cucumber.
Oh, so Betsy actually sent the YouTube video of the house.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's check it out.
Oh, definitely.
So maybe we can figure out. She sent it in the Discord.
Okay.
There's a Discord
Okay.
for this?
Yeah. So
Where have
if
you
you
been,
are
Zach?
if you're just tuning in to us, like you just walked into our interview, there's a video of the house in the mountains because it was for sale, like within the last couple of years. And the realtor did a whole walkthrough video of it and posted it on YouTube. And even though the house seems to have sold by now, it's still up on YouTube. So we thought we'd check it out together.
This is also really useful for The Sims because I've been dying to recreate the Phillips family in The Sims 4.
Yeah. I think there was like a 360 thing you could do on the website when it was still active. And it was really cool. I was trying to figure out which one was actually Fee's room. I couldn't figure it out.
I don't think I'd be able to recognize it without those
share my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's probably easier with the second monitor, anyways.
How many of the comments on the video are mentioned So Weird?
Wait, what?
Yeah, I thought that too, but then it looked really big, their username. Like I didn't realize the room was that big. I guess maybe they just put up a wall.
It's the top one with
This
the
one?
girl.
Wait, is it the top one?
Yeah.
Okay.
that one.
And they call it, it's got a really cool name, Whispering Creek Estates. Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
And it went for 3 million Canadian, I believe. Or that was the asking price for it, I guess.
We are giving you guys a like deep look into the house of So Weird. Like, we're crazy.
I don't know why we can't hear the sound, but it doesn't matter too much.
And to think those flowers could be Ned and Irene.
Is it not doing it with the sound?
Now you can hear it, it's just really low.
Yeah.
Okay, I can turn it down.
I don't know. I think it's kind of low, but I don't know. It doesn't matter too much.
How much is 3 million Canadian and US dollars?
Less.
A little bit less, but maybe about the same.
Yeah, definitely.
Look, it's so beautiful.
That's the living room where Molly wrote music about Rick.
Absolutely the same house. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And there's the dining room. I don't really remember seeing that part, but the kitchen.
In Drive, we saw that part.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah.
Well, wait. Is the refrigerator where Clue got turned into a bunny rabbit still there?
Yeah.
Carrie.
Looks like they
It's
upgraded.
Carrie, yeah.
Oh, this house. It's a dream. Mm-hmm. It's really big,
So that's how
actually.
they were able to get that cool looking shot in medium of Molly. They shot it from above the landing. That's cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a really nice house. There's no way I would ever been able to afford this.
So we're thinking the green. Okay, the green room back there was Fee's room, but then based on the shot of Jack going like this, I was thinking it was actually the larger room there. I don't know. I couldn't figure it out. I'm just.
Someone has to do comparison pics.
Yeah, that room is way too big, though.
Yeah, the green room has to be Jack's room.
Yeah, and then there's a whole basement, like
whoa,
finished basement, of course. But, whew,
My dream is to like leave the U.S. and just live in Canada and have some peace there.
Yeah. My dad told me the population of Canada is like, I don't know. I was surprised by how low it was. I mean,
it's less than California.
Well, that's because the entire upper half of the country is just frozen wastelands, Emily.
Yeah, and basically most of the population, like 95% of it, is along the border.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, global warming and all. Some of that frozen tundra will melt, and then I can live up there. So, yeah, it's so pretty, though.
Yeah, this is a beautiful house. I can see why somebody would shoot a TV show here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was just so funny because we were trying to find this house for forever. Because when we interviewed John Cooksey, it sounded like he said it was in Canmore, Canada.
I think he did type out on a tweet Canmore by mistake, or maybe he didn't remember it. So we kept Googling, like, okay, Canmore, Vancouver, it's in this.
And it's not even, it's like in Alberta. It's not in British Columbia, but I was still like, Canmore, like for months. And then someone on the forum, I can't remember what their username was, but they figured out it's Anmore, which is like a suburb of Vancouver. If I just looked at a map, I would have figured that out.
I think it might have been Neil. Yeah, it's just right there near Vancouver. So I kind of wish I knew that when I went to Vancouver too. But
yeah,
hopefully wait, did Neil say he went inside the house?
No, he took a picture outside the house. I think he just said that I thought it was a private road up there, but it's not apparently. So if I ever go up there, which I plan on doing, I'm going to make a trip out there. It would be creepy. Oh, really?
I think it's common for a lot of pilots to shoot in an actual location because a set will be too expensive unless they know they're going to go through with the show. I know for Life with Derek, they shot the entire first season in a house in Toronto. And then once they got picked up for another season, then they created a set and moved there.
Yeah, it could be the opposite thing too, because you have to pay these locations to film there. And so sometimes they just take like outside exterior shots and then they create like 2 rooms in sets to always use those rooms.
So, glad we were able to do that.
Yeah, that was cool.
It was a little virtual field trip for us.
It was.
Yeah, so do you guys want to like wrap it up now? Maybe.
My phone's about to die, so we probably should.
Well, just because it seems like the comments are like kind of slowing down.
Yeah. I've really enjoyed this. It's been so fun talking to you all.
Yeah, it was nice. Awesome. It was nice being here with everybody. I can't believe we've been doing this for 5 years. We've been doing this podcast longer than So Weird was on the air.
Yeah, way longer. I think, we'll have to celebrate somehow once the date comes. I think it's in June when we started. So, but I just want to say thank you all for being patient. I know you've had a lot of ideas that you've wanted us to do. We're going through the same pandemic and as you all are. And so I think we've all had a lot going on right now too. So thank you all for your support.
Any last
thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah.
Yes, the weird gender technology. I love it.
That's awesome. And speaking of, female led.
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
So Weird wasn't included in the female leads collection on Disney Plus. Now, to be fair, they didn't include very many things on there. There's so many female-led projects they could have included in there. But I just had to bring that up because, of course, I checked, and it's not on there. So.
Oh, look.
Okay.
So many grievances with the Disney Corporation.
Yeah, so my shirt. We need to send out a link on social media. Sasha, who has been on he was on our Halloween episode and our Christmas episode, and he's been a long time listener and fan. He created this. He made this shirt, and it's totally awesome. Molly wears a very similar shirt in the show in a couple episodes. So we'll definitely have to send out the link.
Right. It's just on a website, and you just order like your size and style of the shirt. So anyone can get it. I'll ask for the link again, and I'll post it on Twitter and the forum, so you guys could get one if you want. And of course, there's like our regular So Weird merch that I've made on our little Redbubble store, which, occasionally every month there are sales. So that's really impressive. Like a sticker here and there, or like a few days ago, like someone bought 2 shirts. So
I might have to buy a sticker. Yeah, I've put a few stickers on my laptop. I never thought I'd do that, but I did. Might as well have a So Weird one on there. So yeah.
Well, thank you for all of you for being here. It really does warm my heart to see this fandom still so alive after all these years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming. Also, like I always imagine, like, why do people want to talk to us? Like, like I know people maybe are excited to talk about. Some people got this confused with like, oh, is the cast going to be talking together about the show? And I was like, no, it's just us fans. But we still get like 20 plus people that come, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really appreciate everyone coming and out tonight. It's been awesome. I haven't socialized very much the last year, so this is about as social as it's gotten for me. So it's been a lot of fun. Okay. Oh, thanks, guys. All right. Well, we'll send out. Yeah, we'll let you all know what we're going to do first. Maybe a script read. I don't know. We'll just have to see, but we'll keep you posted for sure.
Definitely just keep in touch with our social medias. I use Twitter the most and Instagram. So just see what we're doing. And if you want to participate, like definitely send us a private message or email, and we'll see what we can do. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Good night.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.